Hi, everyone. Welcome back. So, I'm going to talk today about something related to meditation. As I've explained on this channel before, I'm a big believer in meditation. I've done meditation off and on since the 1980s, intensively so since about 2014. So, for the last 10 years. And I meditate daily. There's some days occasionally I miss, but most of the time I meditate daily and for about an hour at a time. Now, at one time in my life, back in 2014, when I was initially kind of building up to meditation, I would meditate for much longer periods of time. And today I'm going to talk about one of the complications from that. When you meditate for long periods of time, there are potential issues that can come up during that. Now, I'm only going to deal with one of them today because there's actually several issues that can occur. But the one that happened in 2014 during a period when I was meditating about 2.5 hours at a time is the one I'm going to discuss today. And I'm going to also discuss the ways you can protect yourself and why it is very important to protect yourself. Now, I must have known years ago when I first started meditating at times in the 1980s that it was important to say what's called like a prayer of protection for yourself. In other words, when you go into meditation, you want to do any number of things to basically protect yourself. And the reason for that is when you're in meditation and you're in an altered state of consciousness, you actually potentially, if you're really deep in meditation, potentially are accessing other dimensions and other realities, basically, other than this one. Now, that's not common with just typical meditation for a half hour or even an hour, but it is possible when you really do very, very deep meditations, which I have done in the past. So I'm not. I don't share this with you to scare you in any way because normal meditations that most people do, they're fine. But I still highly recommend a prayer of protection. My prayer of protection that I use is basically calling out for, please protect me, defend me, keep me from harm, kind of thing. And you can ask that of God or your guardian angel or your guides or whoever you believe in that, is there to protect you. So I do that every day now. I do prayer of protection every day when I meditate now. I have not had any further problems along the lines of what I'm going to discuss with you today. So back in 2014, when I first started really intensively meditating, I think I was trying to just test the barriers, of like how long I could actually meditate. And it kind of became a personal quest. And I wasn't really thinking about, oh, gee, maybe I should say a prayer of protection for myself, especially when I'm really deep. I mean, I would go so deep into meditation that I literally could not feel my body. I could not, I mean, I knew where I was. I knew I was still in a room or, sitting on a chair or on the bed or whatever, but I honestly couldn't feel any of my physical self. So I was really, really deep into the meditation. So on a particular day, I remember I was meditating, I was sitting on my bed, and I did the normal thing. I went in and, you go deeper and deeper as time goes on. Well, I must have been meditating about 2 hours when this happened. So it was very deep into meditation. And all of a sudden, like you have your eyes closed, and normally you just see, kind of gray or grayish or black, or sometimes you see changing gradations, you see it lighter color, sometimes you even see colors when you're meditating. But on this particular day, very suddenly, everything kind of went white behind my eyes. And then it almost looked like it was a mist, like, a fog or a mist. And I had never really had that before, and I thought it was really strange. And, I wasn't panicked or anything at that point. I just was like noticing. Because when you're in meditation, you just notice, and then you usually notice and let go. That's kind of so you don't get focused on any particular thing. Well, so this white mist and stuff, it seemed like it got thicker and like I was moving through it. And I mean, I knew that I was sitting on the bed on some level in my mind. I knew that. But I really felt like I was moving through this mist. And so off in the distance, I saw these three dark human-like figures. They looked like people. They had arms and legs, but they were dark. I couldn't see their faces. I couldn't see really any clothing or anything, just dark. And they were in the distance, but I was getting a little bit closer to them. And I felt like they turned their attention to me, which was kind of freaky. That's when I actually started kind of freaking a little bit. And I thought, well, that's strange. I've never had anything like this before. And just as they seemed to notice me and I seemed to notice that they noticed me, I felt almost like I was in a tractor beam or something, and I was being pulled towards them. Well, that scared me. And interestingly, although I was deep in meditation, I somehow knew that I had to call out for help, and not human help, but like spiritual help. And so I just cried out, Archangel Michael, protect me. To this day, I don't know why I chose Archangel Michael, but I've always had a affinity for angels, as I've explained before in my other videos. And he's, to me, the most powerful archangel, so I thought I needed his help. Well, the minute I cried out, Archangel Michael, protect me, and I said that with my voice, all of a sudden the tractor beam stopped, and I kind of popped back into my body. And the mist went away, the black figures went away, all of that happened. And it still took me a while to open my eyes because I wasn't, I was so deep in meditation that when you're that deep, you can't come out of it really immediately. So I kind of took some deep breaths and eventually kind of came out of it. And I was really shaken up by that. Having never had anything like that happen before, my best guess as to what happened is that I probably accessed some sort of entities in another dimension in my meditation, and they saw me and I saw them. And they, entities, they don't necessarily have to be completely evil or anything, but are much more powerful, of course, than we are in this dimension. And so it really, really kind of unnerved me to realize that in those deep meditations, I was really accessing probably other dimensions. And so I did tell my meditation teacher about this, and he said to me, well, aren't you doing a prayer of protection? And I went, no. And he goes, well, you need to do that. Because apparently what that does is that kind of enlists the assistance of your angels or guides or whoever you feel like is there protecting you. And that basically something like this really couldn't happen if you have that kind of protection. So I felt like an idiot, okay? But I'm sharing this with you today because a lot of people, even if you've been meditating a while, don't realize how important it is, especially when you're doing very deep meditations, to protect yourself. And I do it now all the time when I meditate. I am always saying, angels and guides, please protect me, watch over me, keep me from harm, or some variation of that, basically. And I've not had another instance like that, thank goodness. So I wanted to share it as a warning to always do a prayer of protection, always protect yourself, surround yourself with white light, so that even if by chance you're going deep in meditation and you might access something else, nothing can touch you. Now, I was really relieved to realize that by calling out for Archangel Michael, something really amazing and magical did happen. I mean, that totally broke the spell of whatever was occurring. So then I became an even bigger believer in my angels. So after that happened, I hope this provides you with some information that might be valuable to you. Please, before you leave, drop a like below. It really helps out my tiny little channel as it begins its growth. And I really appreciate your support. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others, and take care. Bye.